Sixth graders, welcome to makeup lesson number 18. Mr. Songere with you here today. We are going to talk a little bit about playing with an accompaniment here today. And when you play a solo, usually that solo has an accompaniment part. So for example, if you're playing a song out of your Festival Solos book, the Maroon book, there is a piano part that goes along with your solo. Now the exception would be if you're a percussionist and you're playing the snare drum, but even on those mallet parts, percussion, there is an accompaniment part. And the accompaniment that's played on the piano is exactly what the term means, accompaniment. That part is supporting what you are doing as a soloist. Okay, it's not part of the melody, although sometimes there can be elements of the melody, especially when you have, say, a 4-measure rest. Your Festival Solos book, the piano will take the melody there while you're getting a little break, but it's primarily supporting you as the soloist. Now sometimes students don't like playing a solo with the accompaniment. They say it's harder and they'd rather play it without. And I want to get into why it is harder. When you play a solo or anything really, and there's no other part that goes with it, you're allowed a sense of freedom when it comes to tempo. And you can slow down and you can speed up, and there's no obvious consequence to your change in speed. When you play with an accompanist or a CD or smart music or whatever it is that's playing the music with you, all of a sudden, if you start slowing down or speeding up, if you miss a rhythm and get ahead or behind, or you count some rests wrong, all of a sudden it's not together, and you can obviously hear that something has gone wrong. And so therefore the initial response from some students is to say, oh, I don't like this, this is harder, I'd rather play it without. And so it is harder, and it can be frustrating. So in order to avoid that, the first step is to learn your piece, your solo, as well as you can without that accompaniment first. Spend some time, especially with things like rhythms and whatever the tempo is that's marked on the song, slow, medium, fast, terms like allegro, moderato, those sorts of things. And make sure you can play that solo really well before you jump in and start playing with the CD or with an accompaniment part. Okay, so that's step number one, and you really can't go any further until you've done that. Okay, so then let's say you're playing with a CD. Now playing with a real live accompanist, somebody playing piano, is like the best scenario, because if you were to mess up a little bit, a really good accompanist is going to follow you. But unfortunately, we can't just have some random piano player hanging out at your house at your beck and call when you say, oh, I'm going to practice now. Hey, piano player, come on over. That's not going to happen. So step number two, when you're playing with a recording and you've practiced a lot and you're still going to make a mistake here and there, we're not perfect, what to do in that situation? Well, first of all, the second step I would say is just listen to the accompaniment. Listen to it. Listen with your part. Both Smart Music and the CD have versions where you can hear the melody being played that you are playing along with it. And just kind of analyze, follow along in your music as you're listening to it, how your part fits in. When you listen to it, that's going to help you mentally perform it, because then you're going to be like, oh, this is how it's supposed to sound. It's kind of like when I play a song for you in band, or when we're trying a new song in band, I say, hey, let's listen to a recording of this. It's going to help you play it. That's the whole point of listening to it. Okay, so that's the next step. So then the step after that is you've worked on your part, you've listened to the accompaniment with your part in there. The next step is to then play it, and if you feel like you're making a mistake in a certain part, go back and do those first two things again in that section, just that one measure, that little section that you're struggling in. Okay, practice it with the accompaniment again for a while. Maybe you even need to ask me how it goes, just to help you with that part. Okay, or have a friend help you, and listen to it again. Just listen to that section, listen to how it fits in, and then try just that section. All right, kind of isolate that harder section. All right. So that would be your next step in order to get that part down with your accompaniment. If another step too that you can use if you're using smart music, this won't work with the CD unless you have some equipment to make it happen. Slow it down, especially if it's a harder rhythmic pattern or a faster song. Take that on smart music, you can slow it down and play it at a slower speed. Again, you can't really do that with the CD. Okay. But you can go and practice it again without the accompaniment at a slower speed and work it up. That can also really help you learn that part. So those are some tips on accompaniment. I have one more thing for the percussion I want to do, but to make this up, 6th graders, I need you to do a quick recap, a written recap of this video, and about a paragraph would be good, or some bulleted points, and send that to me. Percussion, just really quick, woodwinds and brass, you're done. Percussion, really quick, little recap on 9-stroke rolls. 9-stroke rolls are, again, when you have a roll on a quarter note, okay? And when you do a quarter note roll, quarter notes have 4 16th notes in them. So you're going to do 4 16th notes, and then rolls almost always end with another note after it, okay? And in that case, then you add a note after it. So I'm just going to move my camera down here, okay? So let's say I have a quarter note roll, okay? I'm going to do 4 16th notes, and then I'm going to do a, let's just call it a quarter note after that. So it'd be 1 E and a 2. And then on the 1 E and a part, I'm going to bounce. 1 E and a 2. And that 2, I just let it hit once. So bounce, 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 single hit. Okay, that's how you do the 9-stroke roll. And again, you do that when you have quarter notes. When you have quarter notes. So let's say your song's going 1, 2, 3, 4, and let's say I have a roll on beat 4. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 and a 1. 1, 2, 3, 4 and a 1. That's how you do that 9-stroke roll. Okay. It's very important that you do that and don't just randomly have the sticks hit the drum as quickly as you can. You'll lose a sense of the rhythm, and it just simply won't sound that good in the whole context of the band. All right? Thank you very much. Have a great day.